Merry meet and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Astro Tumor Show. I am your host, Serona Rose. And yes, it's been a long time since I have come on here and offered any type of astrological update, and I do apologize for that. I've had to take some time to myself. I've been working on a lot of things in my personal life, as sure as many of you have as well. And I will say that, this has just been, we're moving through a very complex time right now. And this is one of the reasons that I wanted to come on here and talk about this because, well, number one, this is a full moon in Aries. It is a super full moon, and this is a part of a cardinal grand cross that's really going to impact our lives in many ways. And so again, this is both physically and emotionally. And the CMEs that we've been having really haven't helped as well. That causes some fatigue. You may have trouble sleeping and just worn out. It's always good to get to drink plenty of water, get plenty of rest during this time. A lot of people have headaches and things like that, or body aches, almost like flu symptoms. So you could as well. Any and all the above with those CMEs. And this full moon is important because it's closing out the eclipse season energetics. And this is the follow-up moon after the eclipse. It usually closes out and opens up a 6-month cycle. So we are coming for full circle with this moon. Full moons always oppose the sun, but this moon will also have a square with Pluto that's in Capricorn, as well as Mars in Cancer. Um, Again, that is showing that cardinal grand cross in the sky. Um, the energy is a bit of a doozy. And, so what can we expect in our lives around this full moon? Well, there could be some arguments. It's going to be very emotionally charged. There is a lack of clarity here. Um, at times, things can be very uncomfortable, and just things just aren't clear at this time. Um, we could see some tantrums, playing out there. And also, we could see a lot of rage. But I will say it will illuminate something that you have been fighting for. And it could be something that you're fighting to face as well. My advice to you during this time is to welcome. I know it's hard to welcome emotions, but you should welcome these emotions and sit with them and figure out what it is. Is it fear? Is it anger? We need to figure out what we are feeling because we need to understand it. There is something that you are going to need to sit with and understand. So at this time, you could feel overwhelmed. You could feel a bit foggy. So it's time to find your center point. It is time to listen to your feelings and look at what you've had to release this year, especially in the past 6 months. What have you had to release? And how has it changed your life? Also, look at the changes that you've had to make because of different things that are happening and different circumstances, such as that. The full moon will be on October the 17th, and it'll be in the zodiac sign of Aries. This is a super moon. It's the strongest of the year, they say. So this will be the last Aries full moon within the Aries Libra axis. Aries is about the self. It can be pioneering and confident, sovereign, independent. And the moon is about our emotional state. And our emotions are being charged with this who am I energy. And we're going to be sitting with this is what I came here to do. This is the direction that I need to go. This is what I need to do in order to move forward with my life. With Mars being Aries' planet, um, It is in the astrological sign of Cancer right now. So we are really being guided to be sensitive to others' emotions, their healing journeys, and things that they are going through emotionally within their lives. This could also have us facing old wounds. We could be triggered by something that happens that takes us back to an old wound, and we're going to have to sit with that and process that and work through that. Aries is about the self. It is about being true to yourself. It is about accepting yourself for who you are. And this is about being truly, authentically you. Aries is connected to Pisces because this is where we are coming from. Aries steps out of those primordial waters of Pisces that represents the oneness. We are all one in Pisces. And we are stepping out into this new journey of Aries, this energy of Aries of who am I? So this is when Aries discovers his true self with, being separate from everyone else. Who is he? What is his identity? And I'm saying he, using it for everyone. So this is who you are behind the mask that you have to wear, behind what you should be doing, um, what you were told that you should do. What some people may be working a job that they were said, well, your mother or father did this, so you need to do this as well. And maybe you're in that position because of that. Is that really what you want to be doing? What is your mask? Are you taking off your mask? Um, we all, when we go out into the outside world, we all put on a mask and we use that for protection. But this is saying, you know what? This is time to be who we truly are without limitations. And this moon is going to connect us to our Aries new moon that we had back in April. So it could be bringing back some energy from that time, something that you needed to face. This could also be validation, something that you were working on at that time, you were working to manifest, that sort of thing, create. It could be a time of checking in. It could be validation of this is working, this is happening, and so forth. Um, and it could just be something that you need to look at and something that you need to revisit. It could also go into partnerships here because remember, we're on this axis with Libra, and Libra is all about partnerships and relationships. So this could be a time of ending those partnerships and relationships, and this could be business wise as well as romantic. Or it could be a time of redefining them, redefining what you need, that sort of thing. It could be a point in time where your partnership evolves into something better. The sun is opposing the moon. As I said, the full moon always opposes the sun. So the sun in Libra, which is about relationships with others, and it is we versus me. So we're looking at boundaries. It could be a time of cleaning up those boundaries. It could be a time of dealing with codependency. There are certain things that, when we're in relationships and partnerships with people, we are in essence codependent in a certain way. There is a way to be healthy, codependent in a healthy way, like expectations, like you expect your partner to take care of this while you take care of that sort of thing. But this is about looking at that and looking at our inner dependency and basically what is not working in your life and what you need to do in order to fix it. This full moon will be, I'm sorry, the sun will be conjunct Eris, and this is the goddess of discord. I'm sorry, back that up. The moon, Eris will be conjunct the moon. I do apologize. And that is the goddess of discord. And this is what she says, what is not in harmony? What is not in harmony in our life? She's discord. So what is out of alignment? And the sun is conjunct Juno, which is the goddess of marriage and commitments and long-term commitments. So the themes that are going on with this will be boundaries, evolving to become clearer, uh, codependency, becoming independent, and learning how to, it's not me versus we, it is me and we, learning how to find that balance in between that. Now we are still in the nodal axis, the Aries and Libra nodal axis, and this polarity um, is about the self as well as others, relationships with others. So we are gaining our self assurance. Our North Node is where we're going, and that is in Aries. So we are gaining our self assurance and figuring out where we are going, and being confident within ourselves, learning to trust in ourselves and to be dependent on ourselves. And we could be looking at relationships that we might need to leave behind. And we could also be looking at how we are sabotaging those relationships, either with others and ourselves, because we can self-sabotage uh, very well, very well at times. So we are really just kind of working all of this out. And we are sitting with a lot of emotional energy as well, because this does have to deal with relationships. And especially with Mars and Cancer, they say that Mars and Cancer is its detriment, but I don't think so, because Mars and Cancer is when the warrior becomes the spiritual warrior and when he actually is fighting, um, not just for a cause, but for his soul. So, Cancer is about mothering. It is about the mother archetype as well as emotions. So the moon right now is visiting in Mars's astrological sign of Aries, while Mars is visiting in the moon's in Cancer's planet, the moon. So you see they've traded places a little bit. So I want to talk about Cancer, the astrological side of Cancer, and especially with all of the dark goddesses that are included in this energy of the full moon. This is like crazy. This is very intense. So, Cancer represents mothering and emotions, feelings, and our intuition, as well as safety and the home. Um, it represents the great mother wisdom. And unfortunately, that is something that gets repressed in our culture. But Cancer is itself is not repressing. It is not aggressive. It is that archetype does not exist within Cancer. Cancer is about mother. It's about loving and it's open. And our culture has really misinterpreted the energy of the mother. Our culture treats energy that is that mother energy that is wise, that is more feminine, that is intuitive, our emotions, our feelings. Our culture represses that, or it oppresses it, so to speak. So Mars in Cancer is actually what our culture is going through right now. And if you look at our world, we can see people out there acting out tantrums. We can see the rage. We can see the 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 lack of clarity, the lack of the independency. We see a lot of people wanting other people to take care of them, other people to take over their responsibilities and that sort of thing. And that's just, that's kind of that's misinterpreting what that means. Um, we are seeing people that are just, they have vengefulness in their hearts because they do not understand how to express their emotions and their feelings. Now, when we truly look at this, we see how we have fallen into the role of who we think we need to be in the world. So, this full moon is really pulling us to getting to the deep truth of who we are. And that is very much Mars in Cancer. Mars in Cancer is about those deep, deep truths of who we are, of behind it all, behind the scenes, behind the curtain. Who are we? And, we've talked about being ourself, our authentic self. And we can't, in a world that seems to be really, um, how would you say, oppressing those people who truly want to express their feelings, who truly want to express who they are. You have pushback from that saying, no, you must fit into this square peg here. You must fit into this. They like to go back to we are all one. And yes, in essence, but in this physical form, we are we are to be who we came here to be, meaning we are going to look different. We are going to have different looks. We are going to um, be male, female. We are going to have all differences within us. We are not going to be the same, and we should not want to be the same. We should not want to be just absolutely nothing and blend in with the gray. We should not do that. We should have our own colors and we should stand out. And we can see today how women are oppressed, are disallowed to express themselves and their true ability. In today's world of society, even society is even taking away the role of mother from women. It's now not called motherhood, and calling it motherhood or calling women mothers. Um, this is we hear the word birthing person, which is absolutely ridiculous. And this is another way of stripping the feminine roles away from women. And I want to go deeper. Let's go deeper. Chiron is still in the sign of Aries, and he's a part of this as well. And Chiron moved into Aries back in 2018. And we can look back at that time and we can see what all was going on in our life, and we can look at it now. Chiron in Aries Chiron is about the original wound. And the wound when he is in Aries is the wound of not being able to be who you are. And unfortunately, how things have been set up in this world right now, we are not able to be who we are. Um, so, what expressions have been allowed? What expressions have been allowed in this culture? What expressions can no longer be expressed? What needs to be felt and expressed? Chiron in Aries is about healing the wound that is keeping us from being our true self. So, I want to talk about Chiron just a little bit because I think it's important to always, um, you know, understand the dwarf planets and the asteroids. We need to listen to the mythology so we can understand exactly what their message here. So Chiron was the most important centaur in Greek mythology. He represents so much more than a centaur. Um, he was a centaur, which means his lower half was a horse and his upper half was a human man. But Chiron was a bit different from the other centaurs, as his front legs were human. Okay. Spiritually, he represents the duality of the material plane. You see, the upper half represents the higher human consciousness, and his lower half represents the lower animal nature within us all. So the lower nature sees duality. It sees good and bad, here and there, positive, negative, black and white, yin yang, and so forth. Whereas the higher consciousness is about unity. It represents heaven and nature. Chiron lived in a cave on Mount Pelion, and the caves represent the underworld. So the underworld, according to the ancient mysteries, is the realm of the consciousness. It's the astral realm. It's in between the sun and the earth. So this is making Chiron the bridge between heaven and earth, polarized and unified consciousness. So you see how he is playing in with this, with healing that. We are healing the true essence of who we are. And it is only by making the unconscious conscious that true healing will begin. So we are going into alignment. Alignment. This is one thing I keep hearing about this moon is alignment. Alignment with who you are. Now I want to talk about Eris a little bit because Eris is the sister of Mars, and she is the goddess um of discord. And I'm sorry, I said she was conjunct the moon. She is not, and I do apologize. I do apologize for that. Let me correct that there. She is actually sitting at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and she is conjunct Pluto, which is at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So, and they are both squaring Mars in Cancer. So she is a part of this cardinal grand cross. And Eris is discord. She is chaos. And sitting at 0 degrees is a very powerful degree. Um, it is that burst of raw energy in the beginning. It kind of 0 degrees reminds me of the Ace of Wands, so to speak, you know. It's that kind of energy. And um, she is the goddess again of discord, but she shows us where things are out of alignment. Okay. And what's not working, what's no longer working in our lives, what is no longer tolerated, or what we should no longer tolerate in our lives in order to go forward. So, Eris represents the feminine that has been shunned, that has been forgotten. She is called the drama queen, but many times it is the drama queen that draws our attention to something that has been forgotten, that has been ignored, that has been discarded, that has been just treated like, she doesn't matter. Eris is the sister of Mars, so, that is the god of war. So she has that energy with her and she will go to war. Um, she is not afraid to do that. It is said that when Eris and Mars are fully developed collectively, only then will humanity not have to experience war again. So Eris is about regeneration as well. And surprisingly, she is exalted in Cancer. That's very interesting there, right? She's Mars's sister. Mars is over in Cancer. So maybe she's helping her brother out, right? So again, she will go to war for those causes that are very close to her, that she seems that like her soft spot is family, children, and her home. And those three right there is why she is exalted in Cancer, because Cancer is about the home, it's about safety, it's about mothering. And again, so with her representing what has been forgotten, shunned, or is are women that have been treated unjustly, her energy is double-edged because she is connecting us to a deep sense that can lead us to a darker essence. And honestly, she can take us into developing sciences, believe it or not, that can help us um, increase a lifespan. So that's a little interesting. But Eris is one of those goddesses that you just really, she's an energy that you don't want to mess with. You don't want to discard women. You don't want to put them, forget them, and they don't exist, or treat them unjustly, because she will come forward with a vengeance. Now, another dark goddess that's in this is Lilith, and a black moon Lilith will actually be conjunct the sun. And she entered a Libra back on June the 29th of this year, and she will be here for 9 months. And there is a lot of mythology about Lilith, and the most popular one is, and I'm just going to, this is not all of it. This is very short and quick. Basically, she refused to lie beneath Adam. So, since she would not obey Adam, she was cast out of Eden. And therefore, Eve was created to be more docile and to be more controllable. So, but for this one, I'm really going to focus on the moon aspect with her. So, which is regarding our emotions. So Lilith is about those things that are taboo and secret. She was doing something that I guess was at that time taboo to do. So she represents that aspect. And she represents those things that are not really visible to the naked eye. And where Black Moon Lilith is in your chart, that can represent part of you that can be in the dark, that can be oppressed, that is kept secret. She represents the dark phases of life, also the dark night of the soul. She is also connected to family lineage, such as the wisdom that is kept by the ancestors, and more notably, the maternal ancestors. This could be uncovering some secrets about the maternal in your family, maybe hidden children, pregnancies that didn't go all the way. Um, but just she can really be about those family secrets that should be kept, that they think is going to be kept under the rug or hidden away in a closet somewhere, but she represents those dark, deep family secrets that have been hidden. And she's also the energy of wanting revenge for betrayal that has happened. And she could have us asking, when we look at Lilith, it's about, what can I do that may not be, kosher? It may be secret, or it may be taboo. What can I do and get away with it? So this can really be, we can really get into an eye for an eye, and energy, and sometimes that's not the best thing to do. Eye for eye will leave everyone blind, right? But again, she represents that vengefulness. And one thing we have to understand is that the moon will always come back to the earth's gravitational pull, meaning we'll be grounded. So these emotions that we are feeling, and we need to set with them. It could be anger, it could be fear, it could be betrayal. It could be feeling like we're forgotten. It could be feeling like we were shunned and cast aside and treated like nothing. But it's about sitting with those emotions and processing them, physically going through them. This is about knowing yourself through the dark times. And so she can represents the feminine that tried to express herself and what she wanted emotionally, but was denied and flat out told she was wrong, or she was ostracized. Maybe she was told she was too much and then cast out. Remember, Lilith was cast out into the land, into the unknown land. So, from there, she went on and she had babies and she had all these demon babies and so forth. And there's terrible stories about her. And we have to also look at where those stories came from, who wrote them. So let's go on to another one. Remember, I said there's a lot of dark goddesses here, and or what's considered dark goddesses. And one other one is Medusa. There's one. Every time we hear Medusa, we always think about off with the head, right? Because we know what happened to her. Now she is conjunct the South Node that's in Libra, and the South Node is about what we're leaving behind. Medusa was a great priestess, and in other writings, um, she was also a great queen, and she was beloved by the people. Um, there was a story I was reading, and I think it's in the book Priestesses. I can't remember who's that by, and I was reading that. That is where they say the Om came from because of when she was decapitated. Um, that was they cried. Their cries and their mourning was so loud that it had that Om, and that is what vibrated through the land. So um, Medusa herself paid for, and the most common myth we know about her, she paid for a violation that she did not commit, but was committed against her. It was a violation toward her most sacred thing, her body. Her body, which is her sacred vessel. She was punished for being so beautiful that she could not be resisted. And that is one of the things that we see in our culture that is being turned around. It is no longer okay to do that, to be, to be placed in a position like that. And we can see this in today's world where the victim of certain of circumstances like that ends up having to, you know, be tried, is that person is the one that suffers the most, right? So there is a lot to unpack when we are talking about these goddesses. So this moon could illuminate what is referred to as the witch wound. And I don't know if you've heard of that, but it is about a wound that you may have experienced in a past life. Maybe you were considered a witch in the past life. Maybe you were punished for having intuition, being able to heal with herbs, um, being able to do certain things that, some people didn't understand. This is when the feminine was harmed, violated, and punished for things that, she necessarily did not do. So she also represents the fullness of the self that has been oppressed. This can connect us to karma, um in all of us. So this is about oppressing or suppressing the deep feminine wild, the feminine life force, which is magic, which is mystery, intuition, etc. It represents the world as as the wisdom that is held by that primordial divine feminine. Now this is deep sacred divine feminism, and I want to say that feminism has different, feminism means different. I know what people consider feminism nowadays isn't what I consider true feminism. Um, but this sacred divine feminism is revealing more of herself. This is heavy. This is priestess energy. What is it called? What does it mean to be a priestess? What does it mean to step up in that sacredness and consider your body a truly sacred vessel, not to be trampled on by those who do not honor who you are, that do not even exist within, your energetic realm? You are above them. So, and I say that, and not in saying that we're better than people, but we are at different levels of understanding than other people. So this is about sacredness and devotion. It is devoting. To be a priestess takes a lot of devotion. To be a high priestess takes a lot of work. It's a lot of self-sacrifice. It is a lot of drawing boundaries. It is, it is about being devoted. And a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people cannot have that devotion. That was why there was only certain people that were priestesses back in the day, because um, not everybody understands that energy and what it takes, and not everybody can do that. Not everybody can actually um, really devote themselves. And I just want to say that isn't it amazing when I'm looking at this and I'm looking at, and because I've read so much about all the different goddesses around the world, but isn't it amazing how all the ones that they deem dark all started out as beautiful and fair and highly revered. It is even said that Hecate was more loved than Zeus. And I will say that there is writings that I have found that, Hecate is older than Zeus. So, you know, I just think that dark goddesses were painted nasty and evil in something to be shunned, something to be treated differently, because they represent that primordial mother energy that loves the unlovable, that loves those things that other people, oh, you're no use to me, so I'm casting you aside. A true mother loves her children no matter what. She may not agree with what they're doing, and she may disapprove of everything they do in their life. But that mother's love will love them unconditionally, even if they hurt her, even if they break her heart in two. And all mothers, you know, whether you've given birth to a child or just adopted, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about someone, if you have raised someone and you have loved someone as your own and you have nurtured them, and you know good and well that they can treat you really cruel, you still love them. And she was demonized because of this. And this is something that we see, and I hate to say this because it's kind of used so much in our world, but we can see how when that patriarchal kind of, and that extreme, the extreme patriarch, when it took over, we can see how that is that part, that uncontrollable part that because we can't control we can control our emotions, but they're very powerful, right? Um, Mother energy is that energy of creation, and it's that energy of manifestation. And when we have that feminine, that of all encompassing, and when it's met by the masculine, which likes to have those defined areas, which likes to control, we can see where that was a problem. And this energy that I'm talking about, this feminine energy, that's in all of us. That is in all of us. We all have this wild divine energy, divine feminine energy in us that hasn't been recognized in centuries. People have died for this. So, um, while we're talking about goddesses and such, Juno. Juno's with the sun. Juno is the goddess of marriage and commitment. With her conjunct the sun, this is more priestess energy. This is more energy reminding us of the sacredness of our bodies and our commitment to our sacredness and our soul, and to see our soul um, and to value it as holy, because it is holy. With goddess energy, this is very sexual energy as well. And we can see how that energy has been um misinterpreted as well, how it has been used to the extreme. Yeah, we live in a world of polarity, and we do live in a world of extremes. But our job is to bring it to center, to try to bring harmony to that. Now, do you know what many people may not know is she was also referred to as a goddess of childhood. And her role was a female comforter. She comforted the female, um, and that had been um, hurt, betrayed. So she is coming in here with the sun, and this is in Libra, which is about relationships. And she's saying, look, there has been some serious damage done to the feminine. And regardless of what you think, there is some justice that needs to be served here. So again, this is this is in the sign of partnerships and relationships. So this that can go into that. Another thing that is notable, it was the cackling of her geese that saved her temple, I think it's Arx, ARX, from the Gauls. And that was back, what was that? 390 BC. And she is portrayed as standing matron of statuesque proportion. She is of severe beauty. She's very beautiful, and sometimes she can exhibit military characteristics because she was said to have, to guard that. So you can see how all of this is looking at these priestesses. This is the priestesses being called forward and saying that, no more, no more. So we are looking at these within ourselves. We are looking at how we have been shunned, how those expressions, those intuitive expressions of ourselves, how our emotions have been discarded, invalidated, and shunned. Now, another planet that's in this cardinal grand cross, Pluto in Capricorn, um, is square the sun and the moon. And Capricorn is all about me because it's physical, and Pluto is moving into Aquarius, which is going to be about community. So Pluto always asks us is, where are you giving your power away? And it also empowers you to fight for your highest expression in your life. Pluto in Capricorn is, it tells us that safety and security is rooted in realism. And people really give Pluto a hard time because he's the lord of the underworld. But you have to understand that Pluto only only destroys in order to create. He destroys the old, the outdated, what has run its path, what is done, and it is wanting to create. But with Pluto in Capricorn, we are told that dreams are fantasies without sacrifice and hard work. And this is one thing that many people don't understand about this world. This world is about, producing. You have to actually work for something in order to achieve it. Capricorn does not sit around complaining or longing for something else. It is not childish in those ways. It is not lost in fantasy without action. Capricorn tells us that we can build and create things that we want, but first they have to be rooted in reality, and we have to be ready to do the work to achieve them. And this is not necessarily something that's easy because um, it's not necessarily something that this energy is not necessarily patriarch, okay? Because I know a lot of people will look at Capricorn, oh, that's the patriarch, that's top down intuition institutions. And yes, it can be top down institutions and it can represent those, but let's look at it from a different point of view. Let's look, this is Capricorn, its animal is the sea goat. He climbs the the very top of the mountain. He knows his dreams, but again, he knows that his dreams, in order to achieve them, need to be rooted in reality. And this is something that uh, we can really look at because this is water and this is earth. This is bringing these two together. If we want to create, we have to bring those two together. We have to bring our effort, hard work, and determination. We have to actually do that, physically do that, in order to make our dreams a reality. It is not about um, taking taking the easy way. This is about taking the it's about taking that longing that we have and making it real. So basically, it's telling us to stop whining and complaining and get off our bums and do something about it. If you want change, you must be change. Capricorn um, is very good with that. A Capricorn gets a bad reputation too, but because of the hard work. But that is about this work. This world is physical. In order to achieve, we must do, right? Now, he is also squaring Mars in Cancer. And I will say that this is about, this could be really good for powerful breakthroughs, and being expression truer to yourself. Um, during this full moon, we could see some confrontational communication. And it could be like a toddler throwing a tantrum in some things, but it can lead us to some deep transformation. So I want to end by saying this is that, and I know I've covered a lot in this, and I really wanted to get the heart of this out, okay? Because the heart of this moon is about alignment. It's about heart and soul alignment. It is about being who you truly are. Who are you? Who are you behind the mask? Who are you without your partner? Who are you without your children? Who are you without all of these different titles that we have in the world? Who are you um, when you're doing what your heart wants you to do? What are you sent here to do? What are you sent here to do? And it's telling you to step up. So we have all of these dark goddesses that are saying that we are not going to suppress ourselves anymore to just so people can be comfortable. Women many times are told that they need to calm down, that they're emotional and this, that, and the other, and they're treated like that is something bad. And I'm here to tell you that those people that are saying that are in the wrong because our emotions, we are humans. Our emotions are a part of this. We are here to experience life in all of its essence. We're not here to have an easy life. We are not here to do that. We are here to experience all things in life, whether that be good or bad. Remember, that is our perception. We are here, and these goddesses are saying that there is a deep wound here that needs to be healed. And it's time to stop disallowing our emotions. And it is time to allow ourselves to fully express who we are. So I will say this could be a time, relationships ending. This could be a time you would leave your job, do something. Maybe you start, you become an entrepreneur, you start your own business. This is a time that we are really, this full moon really wants us to sit with our emotions. I don't think this is a good moon to do manifestations. I really don't because of a lot of the uncertainty that's in the air. There's a lot of stuff that is out of alignment. And Eris is there showing us, hey, there's some stuff that's not in alignment here. There is some chaos that's going on and it needs to be corrected. And you can sit there, ask yourself, what is out of alignment in my life? What do I need? What do I need to do to live my life in alignment, to balance ourselves? This deep feminine, this is a lot, and it's a lot of energy that I could go and on and on and on with. And again, it's tapping in to that priestess energy, to that energy that is telling us, that is reminding us of our sacredness, the sacredness of the feminine, the sacredness of our sexuality, the sacredness of our bodies, and not to allow foreign objects within us that we don't know anything about, to be able to say no to that, to be able to say, this is my body and this is what I choose. This is how I choose to live. This is the job I choose to do. This is the relationship that I choose to have. These are the boundaries that I will set, and those that want to be in my life will have to adhere from. And I don't know if any of you follow me. If you do, you've heard me talk a lot about the difference between being kind and being nice. I was taught growing up, as a little girl, to be nice. To be nice. Don't talk like that. You be nice. I don't care if it is true. You be nice. You don't talk about that. And that is no more. And it's the nice time has to be over with, because people have to become accountable for what they've done and what they still do, and the injustices that they still serve, the um the shunning that they still do, the perversion, the the ways that they just come and take what they want from the feminine and walk away. Those things have to end. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of different energy going on, and there's a lot of different stuff I could talk about. I could take this out into mundane astrology and talk about what's going on, um, election wise, what's going on in different countries and stuff and so forth. But I really feel, and this is really being called. Um, I know that Mars is a masculine sign, but he is in a feminine sign, and he is in a sign that's really getting him in touch with what he values and what he loves and what he wants to protect, the safety of home, the mothering. So he is a spiritual warrior in this sign. He is one that is going to um, really step up to the plate and protect that part of, all of those aspects that the feminine represent, and the aspects of home and family and mothering, you know it's like, what is it, women are shunned for staying at home and being a full-time mom. Women are shunned for doing that, and that's ridiculous. And then you have women that are shunned for working. Women can't win that way. They can't win. Either you're shunned for staying at home and taking care of your kids, or you're shunned for getting a job and working outside the home, and your kids having to go to daycare and so forth. So you got a lot of things to look at and a lot of aspects to consider. And again, Pluto is saying, hey, at 29 degrees, this is some really, really strong and potent energy. And it's energy that is like, this is the last Hail Mary. And he's saying, take your power back. Who you giving your power away to? Take that back. You want to make your dreams real? Then you need to become who you are. You need to really become who you are. He's really working hard there into getting rid of those things, um, cutting those ties that no longer serve you so that you can make room. Cutting those is allows room to come in for those new things those new things for you to enjoy. So, yeah, this is a lot of unraveling that's going on. So, again, honor yourself. It doesn't have to be we or me. It can be we and me. And we can do those things that honor our vessels, that do not put us in ways that um, we dishonor ourselves and our sexuality and who we are, our souls. Who are you? Who are you? And, facing those fears of being able to accept yourself for who you are. And that's a hard one too, accepting yourself for who you are, because it may not fit the social norm. It may not fit what your family thinks you should be, but it needs to fit what you know to be you. So this is really deep transformation. Mars in Cancer again is about that, getting into the deep trueness of who you are, the most vulnerable part of that. So, yeah, that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. And this was a lot. This was a lot. And as you can tell, um, it really has me emotionally charged because I have been feeling this. I am an Aries sun and rising sun. So I have really been feeling this cardinal energy that's been happening. It has been really intense and it has made me redefine some things. It has made me um, let go of things, let go of relationships, let go of partnerships, draw boundaries, and really look at who I am in a different light. Mm. So, again, I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And hopefully, I'll see you all again soon. Many blessings, everyone.